Well, let's take that story further now. We are now joined, of course, via Teams by the former guardian of Princess Masalanabo Modjadji, Dr Mathole Motshekga. Dr Motshekga, thank you so much for giving us your time in this all-important discussion. I think let's start off with clarity from your perspective, right, and what exactly you have written to the court requesting exactly that.
You know, it's important to know that by operation of law, I ceased to be the foster parent of Masalanabo Modjadji. And again, the court said that I have no right to represent her in court. And for that reason, it's not necessary for me to appear in court where I have no status. And that does not amount to withdrawing my support for the legitimate Queen-elect Masalanabo Modjadji. She has my 100% support. But also it needs to be known that Masalanabo Modjadji has not been part of the matter of the court. So when Mr. Moroatshehla says the court has issued summons against her, it's absurd, because there's no court who can force her to appear before it when she's not a party to the proceedings. The truth of the matter is that Masalanabo Modjadji has been recognized as the Queen of Masalanabo Royal Nation, and from the 20th of January, she's on the throne. All that she's waiting for is a letter of recognition from the president so that preparations for her coronation on the 11th of April next year can start. Yeah. So what Mr. Moroatshehla and his rebel groups are talking about is pure nonsense, because they want a kingdom in Bulovedu from 1800. There has never been a kingdom. So they are looking for something that does not exist, that they will not get. And if they say Masalanabo must be brought back, she's an adult, she's 18 years old. She has the right to decide where she wants to be, and she has chosen to stay with us and go to school. She's not in a hurry for anything, because her position is guaranteed, is there, and it will remain hers, whatever Moroatshehla rebel groups are saying.
Dr. Motshekga, the argument, of course, that is being made by some of the leadership at the moment of Balobedu is that under your guardianship, Princess Masalanabo has not been taught the ways of the reign queen, right, and the ways of Balobedu. How do you counter that argument?
That Mr. Moroatshehla is an outsider, actually. He came into Balobedu with his mother. We don't know where from, so he can't claim to know anything about our culture as Balobedu. And the regent himself, his father, is not a Balobedu, because to be a genuine Balobedu like myself, you have to revere the bush people. You have to revere the Dao choir. So those are the primary qualifications of becoming a Balobedu. So the people who say Masalanabo must come, they are not related to her. And in fact, where she has learned about the rituals at Modjadji Royal Court, Moroatshehla, Babada and their group are not even allowed to set their foot there. How would they be able to teach her rituals at a place which they are not allowed to enter? So it's all nonsense. The bottom line is that in Balobedu there's only one queen. Elect is Masalanabo. There's no king, and Masalanabo has already requested the president to issue the certificate of recognition, which we hope will come soon during this Women's Month, and in April next year we will coronate.
Yeah. I know that, of course, you are no longer her guardian because she has reached the age of 18. But what would you suggest she does right now? I mean, 18 is still very young. The decision that should be made at this point by the princess, in your view, and the next step that she should now be taking?
The princess has already set up the Masalanabo Royal family based at Mangului, which is the ritual royal court, and the senior families of Baloyi, who are Mohale, Mukoto, Mahasha, Mugiga, Rabutata, they have constituted Baloyi Royal Council, which is the highest decision-making body, and they are actually administering the day-to-day affairs of Baloyi. And people must also know that there is Modjadji Traditional Council, which has to have a senior traditional leader. It is vacant now, which means that Modjadji Royal Council is also in charge of Modjadji Traditional Council, and they have already appointed a senior traditional leader who is not in Kugela, who is not in Babata, and they have already requested the Premier to issue a certificate of recognition of the new senior traditional leader who will serve under Queen-elect Masalanabo without contesting her position. So the traditions are clear, the law is clear. I think Mr. Moroatshehla must just go back to teaching, because that's where you will understand the systems. In this case, simply does not understand what he's talking about.
Dr. Motshekga, I think just as we wrap up, if we can really just have a broader discussion here about legacy. I mean, you mentioned earlier that the people of Baloyi have not had a king since the 1800s, and that there are a tradition that has been led by women, and the reign queen, as they are called. What would it do for the legacy of Balobedu if they were to change that traditional pattern?
According to custom and tradition, according to the law of this country, there is nothing they can do to change the tradition. It's impossible. And in fact, the law also says, if you want to contest, you can't contest something that happened before September 1927. Now they want to change something that happened in 1800, which is, the law does not even allow. So you can see that we are dealing with people who don't know what they're talking about, who are just power greedy, and they will never be able to get what they're doing. Masalanabo is firmly in charge. She's 18, she's the queen-elect, she's waiting for the certificate from the president, and I can assure you on the 11th of April next year, she will be coronated. That is the date on which her mother was coronated. And the whole Baloyi nation will not allow rebel groups to take over and disinherit it.